Welcome to eMpower Hour, a video series where we celebrate the remarkable achievements of Marian High School alumni and create meaningful connections between Marian's current students and faculty and staff.
Empower! Empower! Empower!
Empower!
Empower!
Empower!
Empower!
Empower!
Empower!
Join us as we connect with alumna Sasha Compere, class of 05, MRP students Rhea Sanders, class of 25, Ava Ola, class of 25, Danny Holt, class of 25, Kingston Nevels, class of 26, Ben Malik, class of 26, Cece Murray, class of 27, Ella Adams, class of 27, and Mrs. Erin Wiseman, class of 11, Dean of Students, and High School Musical cast member, as we discuss all things MRP on opening weekend for High School Musical. It's happening! Woo! Hold your excitement for later.
Tuesday.
All right. Well, everybody, welcome to eMpower Hour. We are joined today for our second episode with some amazing individuals. We want to first give a warm welcome to our alum that graduated in 2005, Miss Sasha Compere. Give a round of applause for Sasha. We also want to welcome another alum, but a faculty staff member, Mrs. Erin Wiseman, class of 2011, our Dean of Students, and also a star in the play this year. And then we want to introduce our amazing students that are a part of this episode today, the Marian and Brother Rice players. We're going to start out here. We've got Danny Holt, class of 2025, who is playing Troy Bolton. Watch out. It's going to be pretty great. We've got Ava Ola, class of 2025, who is playing Kelsey. We've got Cece Murray, class of 2027, who is Sharpay. With that attitude, we're excited to see that come to life. We've got Rhea Sanders, class of 2025, who is Gabriella. We have got Kingston Nevels, class of 2026, who is Zeke. And we've got Ben Malik, class of 2026, who is playing Ryan. Love the snaps. And we cannot forget Ella Adams, class of 2027, who is playing Syndra. Making sure you knew. We've got a great crew here today, and we're so thankful that everyone took the time. You guys are super busy. We've got High School Musical on deck this week here at Marian in the auditorium. It's going to be live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all at 7 p.m. and Sunday at
2 p.m.
They're ready. They're ready for you to come see them. So if you have the time, you're going to be in for a great treat. Mrs. Wiseman, Dean of Students, and we've got stars of the play, one of the stars of the play. What has your journey been like being a part of MRP as an alum, as a Marian faculty staff member, and what made you want to be a part of it at this point in time in your life?
It's a great question. I think when I was a student here, I was always I wasn't in the MRP shows, but it was always something that I attended. Growing up, my brother was very much into theater, and so I grew up around it. It was always something that I loved being a part of. I loved the musicals, and so when I came back, I think almost every show that I saw here, I was like, I would like to be in the musical. And so then this year came around, and it just seemed very fitting to be part of High School Musical, and it's been so fun. I know I haven't been to as many practices, but even being at the practices that I've been at, it's been so fun to learn the lines, to learn the dances, and just to really be part of the community, because I think it's theater and arts is something that people put so much time and effort to, and people only see the finished product. They don't see all the work, and I think it's so cool to see how the community comes together to really put on a wonderful performance and have a great theater community. Hope that answered your question.
Heck yeah, you got some snaps over there. That's amazing. We want to, first and foremost, just hear Sasha, her story. We want to welcome you back to Marian with open arms. We're just so happy that you're here. Sasha, can you possibly share with us what it feels like to be back where your journey in the performing arts began?
Well, first I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to take some time and talk to you guys. It's so amazing to be back here. Marian was a huge part of how I found myself and also how I found the arts. I graduated in '05, as Brooke mentioned, and coming back, I mean, just walking through the front door, I got this like whoosh of memories. And I was a sophomore when I transferred here, and I remember wanting to do tennis, and it was too late, and so the play was coming up, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll try this. I'd always, done little choir stuff at church or doing dance classes growing up, and Lou Smella was our director at the time, along with Roberta Campion, and when I did that first play, on the stage, the curtains are drawn, and with my friends who we've done like weeks of rehearsals together, and it just felt like something clicked, something just hit me where I was like, oh, that feeling I've never felt before of really having, purpose, empathy, like all these things that just kind of rushed and came to me. And at Marian and with Brother Rice, like together, it was something pivotal. So it's really lovely to be back and to hear all of your stories as well and see that you guys are doing, the same amazing work that's been here for years.
All right, well, Sasha, we have many questions in store for you. The next question that's on our mind right here, right now is, how did your experience here at Marian, whether in theater, music, or even in the classroom or whatever else you might have been a part of, help shape your path as an actress in your journey of life and where you've gone after your days here at Marian?
That's a great question, and there's so much breadth to that answer. I spent 2.5 years here, if not a little more, and I remember when I got to my very first class, I think it was a math class, and I was nervous, I was shy, I didn't know anybody here, and I remember one girl came up to me, her name was Claire, and she was like, hi, what's your name? You're new here. And it was just such a welcoming, presence. And I remember feeling that every day that I kept coming back when I first started, is everybody would come up, hi, I'm so-and-so, hi, I'm so-and-so, you're new. It was just, the love that came from all of the students and that welcoming presence and being part of Marian Rice Players truly opened me up. Working with everyone, we were talking a little bit about this before the conversation, but learning how to, build the sets and do the costumes and practicing in community with other MRP members, it just really broke me out of my shell. And also, Marian is where I did my very first play. It's the first time I ever, touched a stage, and it's where I sort of got that, light bulb of, whoa, this is what I want to do for my life as an actor. And when I was here, the program that Lou and Roberta made for us, they took us to New York. I believe it was my senior year or junior year. And we got to see Wicked. I know, your eyes all just fit. It was one of like the, we saw Dina Menzel, and I believe Kristen Chenoweth was there that night as well. And our eyes were just like lit up. That's when I really, really knew, whoa, like I want to do that. I want to feel what I'm feeling from them and also give that to an audience. And without that experience through Marian, I don't know if I would have made my way to Broadway so young and have that kind of like in my mind. And it was a group of Marian and Brother Rice students. We all were there together seeing shows and learning about what it means to be on Broadway or doing film and TV. And I'm an actor now more so in film and TV. And I have to say, like, a lot of the experience that was cultivated here, working in tandem with, our brothers and sisters, it really shaped how much of a collaborator I am now in the industry. I make sure to introduce myself to all of the costumers, all of the makeup artists, the writer, the director, the producers, the gaffer, the PAs on set, because you're working together. Every single person on that project is a huge part of that project being a success. And you learn that right here. Like, truly, every single person worked together. Tech Week is a big part of what taught me how to be a team player. And I take that with me every day on every single set. And also the audition process. I learned a lot here. I learned a lot about, how to be fearless, how to practice, how to memorize your lines, how to, massage your vocal cords and just go through that, process that you're gonna need forever if you do decide to continue in the arts, because it doesn't change. The projects change, but that process needs to be sort of indoctrinated within you. So yeah, Marian was very, very formative, and I loved, we were talking about this, but I really did love Powerpuff. Like, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Sorry, non sequitur, but what a good time.
What an answer. Like, it just gives me chills to get to hear, and I know that this crew in front of us too that's, currently living through the process of being an MRP, how many of you guys can relate to what Sasha was just sharing?
Yeah.
You guys are like, yes, big time. Everyone sees the performance, but then they don't know all the work that goes with it, and the fact that your experience here really it shaped who you are and what you do, and not just your career but your day-to-day life. And I'm sure you guys will feel that as your careers continue and your journeys continue too.
So yeah, I know you said you had a defining moment where it just clicked for you, and you just decided this is what I want to do with my life. But obviously a lot of people make it, a lot of people don't. So that what was that defining moment saying I know I want to put the time and effort to make it in this industry?
Ooh, Cece, you're asking some good, hard-hitting questions. Thank you for that question. Wow, guys, I want to be honest. I went to University of Michigan and I got my business degree. And I did do theater courses through the music theater school. I'm the first of my family second, I have a sister who's 2 years older, to go to college. And I, always had acting in the back of my mind, but I knew that I needed something to ground me and teach me about the real world as well. Not that this doesn't, but once you really go and start your acting career, I moved to New York. I, worked in production at MTV, VH1, but I took classes on the side. I would go to a Wiseman class. I would go to audition for Broadway and off-Broadway, Pearl Studios, which is a hub center. They do a lot of auditions there, and it's a cattle call. You think when you're in your high school play, it's gonna be just like this, but when you get out there, it's hundreds of thousands of people who look like you, who sound like you, who are in these rooms for the same role. And you're running into the same people over and over again. So it does take a sense of no, I got this, a sense of gumption. You really have to have gall, and you have to keep almost hyping yourself up, because it is tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is a difficult industry to be in, but it's not impossible. Mm-hmm. It's not at all impossible. And what I was talking about a little earlier about how special it is that Marian allows you to touch so many facets of what it takes to be in theater. I think that gave me a bit of a leg up, knowing how to work hard, knowing how to do the costumes, do the, music arrangements. I learned that in college a bit, but knowing how to, break down a script. All those things really just gave me this, I'm gonna make it at some point, because you have to keep going. It's the people who sort of see that it's too hard and take a step back, those are the ones that don't make it. But if you are just laser focused and look at the people next to you, don't look at the people above you, don't look at what other people have going on, because these are your peers. These are the people who are going to be coming up with you and supporting you and also creating with you. I did do the Flea Theater in New York, which is sort of like a off-Broadway theater group, and we would write our own shows for, over a weekend and then perform them the next day. that really taught me a lot about like the show goes on. And also in TV and film, it's the same thing. You're in these rooms with multiple people that look like you going up for one part, but that's your time. When you're in that audition, whether it's theater or TV, film, you have that part. That is your role. That's your role to lose, really. So it's just remembering that you're not really fighting for something, you have it. And you're doing it the way that you want to do it. And if it's not for them, all right, on to the next one. And then do create. Like, truly, it's an artist's industry. It's almost like, I liken it to painting. Like, if you're gonna paint a bunch of paintings, but then just keep it at home, no one's gonna see it, right? So you can write with your friends. You guys are so lucky that you're in the era where YouTube and putting your own art up on maybe social media or on websites are accessible to you. And you can do that. You can create work for yourselves. You can create plays with your friends too. You can, write your own musicals. And then Manuel Miranda is a huge inspiration, and he really took the reins. So I collaborate a lot with my friends. We're writing something right now that we're going to produce, and it's just remembering that you have that power in your hands.
I will say this, that was, again, like, it's just so cool to hear what you have to say, so thank you, because I think no matter what it is in life, like, if you have the care and the passion behind it, anything is truly possible. And so to hear you say that, like, there are thousands of people that might, have the same look or the same talents, but you're unique. And so, no matter how many of you guys do want to essentially one day maybe become an actor, actress, be in movies, be in film, be a part of that world.
Yeah.
I see some like head nods, you never know, right, where life takes you, but it's just like such a cool moment to hear that, like, you could have definitely pulled yourself out of it and been like, oh, I can do, something different, but you're like, nope, that's what my heart told me. And so I just, think it's so special that you shared that, so thank you. Troy Bolton, I heard you have a question for Sasha.
Did you have any challenges when you were starting out, and if so, how did you overcome them?
Thank you for asking that question. The answer is yes. So many. My story is going to be different from the next person, but when I did go to New York, I think the plays at the Flea Theater were the only ones I did. I got a lot of callbacks and then a lot of no's. Rejection is very prevalent. It's a part of the business. Also, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any, connections to the industry. I didn't know how to get started, really. The internet was my best friend as far as like looking up where to find auditions. At the time, we used Backstage, we used Actors Access, and I was in a huge city by myself, and so I think a lack of access was maybe the biggest hurdle, but I just was hungry. And I kept researching and kept going to audition after audition, taking class after class, making friends with other artists. We supported each other. We made sure to help each other at night, with our different auditions or create things together. I wrote a short after New York. I spent 2.5 years there, and then I moved to LA to shift into TV film. And there's something called the SAG Actors Guild, and you have to book 3 roles in order to get 3 SAG roles in order to become eligible to join. But in order to book those roles, you have to be eligible. There's a catch-22 in the business, and it's around the same for AEA, but which is the Theater Guild for stage. But that felt like a barrier. But again, you turn on those thinking wheels, you can write for yourself and you can fill out the permits to make that project SAG. That's something that I did. I think how I overcame it is just by always trying to think outside the box and think of ways to give myself and my community like a step forward, a leg up, because there's, again, thousands of people out there who are, for no other reason than it might just not be right at that time, but who are ready to say no to you. So you have to say yes to yourself. You really have to just put yourself first. Don't be afraid to create something. Don't be afraid to speak about what you're interested in seeing. If you're not seeing the art out there that you want to create or that feels relevant to you, make it. Because there's so many people out there waiting for you to be the ones. So, lack of access, but make it for yourself.
So true. I love the response. How many of you guys agree with you got to say yes to yourself?
Yeah.
Even when it's uncomfortable, it's the worst feeling in the world. But when you do it, it's oh, that's actually pretty cool how it turned out, right? And props to you for doing what you did. And it's just so cool to hear your journey of the challenges and how you overcame them. And it's the support around you too, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys have a great crew here for High School Musical, and hopefully that continues.
So I know you've been in so many productions, and so even outside of Marian, how would you prepare for a role? And adding on to that, what's your most memorable role you've had?
Ooh, there've been some really good ones. Preparation's actually a little different for me every time. I remember I took some improv classes at a place called the Groundlings in Los Angeles, and that really taught me how to think outside the box and really take on a character. And when I was first starting out, I booked a lot of, if I'm remembering correctly, more comedic roles and still do. But for those auditions, the way that I would prepare and when I would get the role is really think about the objective, think about the story, think about where that character fits, and how they're aiding to the whole narrative, because you can't just think about yourself, right? You really are telling a full story, and you're in service of the people who are across from you and the people who are in the next scene. So you have to think about, yes, what does your character want, but also how is this scene adding to the whole message? And with High School Musical, it is such a beautiful message of we're in this together, right? And that is the key nugget of having an amazing career, is remembering that you're in it together with the people next to you, the people who, are out shopping for the little basketballs or things that you need. You're all in it, you're in it together. But now, I really do just read the script 100 million times over and over and over again. I look for different ways to feel empathy for the character, because so often the character is different from who I am, and from what I've been through. And it is about, having empathy for people, for humans, for people from all different walks of life, because as soon as you step out into that big world, you're meeting a lot of people who have lived lives so different from what you may have experienced. And I don't know, my favorite role, there's been some challenging ones and some fun ones. I had a lot of fun doing a movie called Uncorked. That was on Netflix. It was the first feature from Prentice Penny, who was a showrunner of Insecure, and I got to go to Memphis. I had to put on an accent and learn how to be a girl from Memphis, and, which is different than the Detroiter that I am, and so proud to be. That was a really fun one, and I'm in a film now that it's going to festivals right now. We just came back from International Film Festival Berlin, but it's more about your chosen family, and learning how to believe in yourself, I would say, and how your friends can really be an important marker of how the support that you have in the world, in addition to family, but the people that you meet in life are going to impact you so much. I mean, my time here, I still have friends from Marian who, you know, we get lunch, we get coffee every time I come home. Those are my people. Like, those are the people who really, truly support me and who, you know, we're going through life together because we're at the same point in life. And so you need that connection. And I am so grateful to have met some amazing friends here.
I think you did, because like at some moments I was like mic drop. Like it's just, your responses are incredible. It's so great. Thank you for sharing that yet again. Another beautiful answer in response. I'm gonna kind of shift gears for a hot second here. MRP, Marian Rice players, get ready to prepare to answer this question. I would love to, hear from all of you that are here with us. Throughout your time working on High School Musical, some of you guys, it's been your first experience in a Marian Brother Rice Players performance. Some of you guys have been here, from the first show your freshman year till now. But for each of you, you can answer both or one or whatever feels right for you in your heart. But what has been the most exciting part about preparing for High School Musical? And or what is like the biggest lesson or takeaway from this experience for you?
Okay, so I'd probably say that my favorite part of preparing for High School Musical has actually been the songs. I've long listened to all the music from this. When I grew up, my sister probably played this movie like 100 times, and I knew the song so well. And so this is my first time doing a musical, and so I wasn't really planning on it, but when I heard it was High School Musical and I loved the show and everything, I knew that I had to, and that was probably, the music is definitely the part I was and am the most excited about. Biggest takeaway?
A lesson learned.
Probably just putting yourself out there. As I said, I haven't done this before, and this is very different. I'm normally a sports guy, but I've loved the experience, and I think this is totally just been something, meeting all the new people, doing, acting's not something I'm used to, but it's very fun, so I think that's probably what I'd say.
And sorry, really quickly, I know it's supposed to go to Ava, but we could tell how dedicated you are, Danny. You're Troy Bolton, and I know you've been practicing. You're an athlete. I know you're like great at basketball, but like look at that dedication, to the sport. Really a character. So yeah.
The most exciting part about like preparing for the musical is definitely just like observing and seeing how far everyone has come. Like there's Rhea, who's we started freshman year, we started the beginning, and seeing her now and how talented she is just amazing. And then seeing like people who are just starting, like Cece and Danny, and how amazing they are. It's truly a blessing. And one of the lessons that I've learned is definitely we are all in this together. Like we really are all in this together, and we need to appreciate each other and like grow together. And I think we've been doing a very good job of doing that.
My favorite parts, probably just being able to absorb the character. I don't feel like I'm a mean girl usually, so just being able to like take on a new identity and completely just like be that person, and like growing from coming in here being timid and like not sure if I even wanted to do it, to now where I want to do future shows and where I found people that I never would have talked to if I didn't extend myself. The biggest takeaway, don't stick to the status quo, I feel like, because I'm definitely a sports person, volleyball, basketball, and just being able to extend myself in saying, you don't have to be one thing. You don't have to be the sports person. You don't have to be the theater person, the academics person. You can take on all those roles in high school and really extend yourself.
Heck yeah. And show off those nails, Sharpay. Yeah. That's our being in the role.
So my favorite part is probably, it's always been technique. just because I feel like you spend hours upon hours with the same people and people that you like never talk to during the day, and like you find out they're in the play, and then like you know nothing about them, but like you spend hours and hours with these people, and then you get to know every single one of them and like who they truly are, and it's like such a beautiful thing because you make such new friendships and you like figure out things that you never knew about people, and that's what I love about it. And then what's the second question? Takeaway. Probably like really enjoying the time that you have and not taking it for granted, because this is my last show, and I remember a friend of mine, she asked, like I was in my freshman year, and she asked me what grade I'm in. I said freshman year, and she told me fastest 4 years of your life, and I did not take her seriously until now. It goes by so quick, and like Sunday's show, I'm gonna cry. Like I already know, like I already know, but like it's really just like a beautiful thing, and just like don't take it for granted, and really just like soak up like all the energy. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so one of my favorite things about being in High School Musical is really just, it's a lot bigger of a cast this year. I mean, the past couple years that I've been doing it, it's been a lot smaller of a cast. And so just really having a nice big cast, it's a different experience, but it's really great to just see how so many people can just come together on this one topic and this one like activity and just really make the most out of it and just really have fun. And so going on to my takeaway, I've really just started to have fun this show, because sometimes having like a smaller role is just, you really see how much fun it is. Even like it's just great to be like with everyone else and just having just this whole network of people and the teamwork that Ava talked about. Just like we're all in this together, and it's just really believing in yourself and knowing that you and everyone else are all a very important person in the show, and just really believing in your worth.
Okay, that was good. Taking after like everybody else, honestly, like my favorite part of like being a part of High School Musical is honestly just being here. Overall, like just being a part of the show. I've been a part of like every musical that I've been like here since my freshman year. So just being a part of the show is just amazing to me, and just having the opportunity to just like to see everyone else's smiles. And then my biggest takeaway would definitely be not let anyone tell me like what I can't do, and just to like do whatever, like Cece said, be the academic kid, be the football, be the track student, be the smart kid, be the actor, be the thespian. So yeah.
The most exciting part of High School Musical for me has probably been the singing. Before I even started acting, which was last year for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, I never thought I'd be a good singer. But as I've like sung more in vocal rehearsals, I just realized, dang, I can do this.
You can sing.
And now singing has just become one of my favorite things to do. I do it in the shower. I do it when I'm just not doing anything. It's one of my favorite things to do. And if I could take away anything from High School Musical, probably just be what Kingston and Cece said, just not letting anything hold you back, doing what you want, and not listening to the haters.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I just want to say it's so inspiring listening to all of you talk about what your favorite takeaways are and your favorite part of being in High School Musical is. I mean, it takes me back. I've got these old programs here from shows that I did, and I'm so curious to know, what was it that made you first want to be a part of MRP?
Last year, before I joined Charlie Brown, I was just not doing that much. I kind of wanted to like branch out and do something new, so I saw a poster in the hallway for Charlie Brown, and I was like, hey, I should do that. And then I walk in on auditions, and I'm probably the most scared I've ever been in my life, because I know literally 0 people. But I auditioned anyway. I got the role of Shermie, and ever since then, I've just been in love with MRP. Just acting is such a cool thing, and I hope to do it more in the future.
So for me, I've always been into acting. Like I've done like the plays like since like middle school, like 7th grade. So like I've always been into acting. So coming to Brother Ice, like I just wasn't sure like if I was gonna be able to do it because like I know like sports is just such a big thing. So when I did Descendants and I got the lead like for the male lead, and I just like I just knew I just wanted to do the plays. So when I got it, I was so happy.
Yeah, for me, both my older sisters had done MRP their whole high school careers, and they both did like the elementary, middle school shows at my grade school. And so just having this inspiration of like two people that I'm really close to and that are really special to me, just having that inspiration was really like a big thing for like me, because they also did choir, and so now I do choir too. And you don't always have to follow in like people's footsteps, but it is great having like that inspiration. And just now I'm making like theater and like my like experience in like doing shows, like my own like experience. It's my high school experience. I'm not necessarily recreating someone else's. I'm taking inspiration from my sister's careers and making it just like my own, and just having a lot of fun.
So my freshman year, MRP was not on my radar. To be honest, I wasn't really I knew of it because my sister did it, but I was like, that's not for me, because my first play ever was Legally Blonde at St. Regis, and when I auditioned for it, I was terrified, and I'm like, I'm not going through that again. And so when I got here, the first show, I didn't do the first show. But my sister was like, Corey, you should really do it. And so she kind of not forced me, but she kind of gave me that push that I really needed, yeah. And so I auditioned, and the first, I would do tech crew for a lot of shows, but the first show that I was in was Descendants, and I was ensemble. But I really kind of fell in love with it the more I did it, and now it's one of my main extracurricular activities. It's I wouldn't want to do anything else really.
I think just finding myself and being secure enough in my identity and confident enough that I choose what I get to do and I choose what I get to love, instead of sometimes there's the stereotype of theater kids are loud and weird and annoying sometimes, but just being able to extend myself and knowing I love singing, I love dancing, I love acting, and being able to now embrace that and just be confident enough in myself and know that if I love this, I can choose to do it and not listen to the outside barriers and anything else. Yeah.
So I remember when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I went to see The Little Mermaid here, and I saw everyone on stage, and I'm like, yep, I want to do that. Kind of what you said. Yeah.
At Marian?
Yeah, and you said with seeing everyone on Broadway.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And I was like, I have to do that. So I made a promise to myself. I'm like, I am going to do that when I am in high school. And going into freshman year, I was like, I don't know if I want to do the plays anymore. But then I just remembered that little girl who was like, you have to do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so I auditioned for the play, and I had an amazing time. And after that, I just kept doing all of them. And I've learned so much, and I'm so happy with how everything's turned out.
For me, I would probably say that it's my senior year, so I've always loved music. I've always loved singing. It's something my sister and I would always go around our house singing all the time. And whenever I was a freshman, I actually saw a show here. I saw Shrek here.
That's a good one.
And my sister's friends were in it. She wasn't. But I remember seeing that, being like, wow, that's really cool. But in my head, it was always, I take really hard classes. This seems like this would just take too much out of my time. I have to focus on other things. This isn't something I can do. But after talking with my family and stuff, it's it's my senior year. I'm already into my college. I know what I'm going to do, and why not take advantage of the opportunities I have while I'm still here? So I just decided it's we get out before spring sports even start. So, might as well do it. It's something I was very interested in doing. So yeah.
Great decision.
Yeah. Claps all around, claps all around. I can't stop smiling. Like those responses, what? Like you guys are the coolest human beings.
So inspiring.
I love the confidence in this room. I love that you guys are also open and honest about who you are and what you want for yourself. That number one is probably one of the most important things in life, right?
Yes.
And the fact that you guys have that right now, just keep with that. Keep following your hearts because it's really, really inspirational. And I hope that when the millions of viewers that are going to be watching this, see this, they get inspired too, because MRP is such a special opportunity that Marian and Brother Rice offer, especially the collaboration between the two schools and all that comes with it. I mean, everything you guys just shared and what Sasha shared with her journey, it's a forever piece of who your character is, who you are. And so thank you. I can go on and on because that was so special to hear. So thank you guys. A few last things to close this out. I don't want it to ever end, but I know that you guys have to practice, and Sasha has to make more movies and TV shows.
I want to see a bit of practice. Wait a minute.
Practice. After hearing all of those great things, you gave everyone here such great advice and sharing your story. What's one probably of the biggest takeaways that you want these MRP students to take away with them, or just in general
I mean, that's a lot of amazing big questions, and I think a lot of you actually answered some of it when I asked why you joined MRP. To just remember that you can do anything that you want with your life. You should keep trying and push yourselves outside of your box. Yes, you can do the AP classes, the sports, the singing, the drama, all of which I did do here as well. And you're so lucky to have this amazing experience. And I hope that you continue that as some of you go on to, the next chapter. Just never give up. Never give up. There's nothing you cannot do. Nothing. This world is your oyster, truly. And I just remember being here. That's really where I first recognized it, because I think around, that 14, 15 age, you're kind of stepping into your own and trying new things. And so if I can impart anything, it's just to keep trying. Always keep trying. And it's okay to, it's okay to fail. Failing is actually just where you learn more about yourself and you learn more about, opportunities, what you need to grow at. It's how you grow. So yeah, keep going. And I'm so excited to see the show.
Yes. Question while you have the microphone. Yeah. What's next for you in your career and your journey? We're excited for you.
I mean, thank you. I am taking on a lot more writing. As I mentioned, it is imperative that you, not imperative, do what you want, but I really do love writing. So I am writing a feature film right now that is based off of a book, and I will not say the name, but it is loosely based on an amazing political figure from California. And I'm also writing a couple of short films. I think, as I mentioned, both my parents are from Haiti, and I really love seeing stories about the immigrant experience. So I am writing about that, and hopefully doing some theater back in LA. Yeah.
Marian and Brother Rice, we are your biggest supporters. We are just so excited for you and thrilled to see what is in store and on deck, and we will continue to support you in your career. And we just cannot say thanks enough for taking the time out of your busy life.
Thank you for having me.
We're all busy, right? Life happens, but the fact that you guys all make time for what you love, that's inspirational. That's what life's all about. So two things to kind of close out. If anyone has any last minute questions for Sasha, like, some fun Marian ones, like your favorite food in the cafeteria.
The tops. Yeah.
Like any things like that.
Okay. If I can just answer the food one real quick.
Yes.
There was like a pasta day. I don't remember what day it was, but it was ziti with like just tomato sauce and Parmesan. And for some reason, we all went wild for it. I don't know how the food's changed over the years, but that was my favorite.
So we didn't get to this one on the sheet, but basically, what advice would you give any students who are passionate about acting but might feel hesitant about pursuing a professional?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you. I'd say talk to as many people as you can. The way that I did it was, I know I mentioned before, don't look at people above you, but sometimes you do need to make connections for yourself. So if you're hesitant, get into your local theaters, get into, local auditions. There is opportunities at home that can sort of spin that wheel and give you a little more practice, a little more experience. And, I remember going to Ann Arbor doing or watching shows at the Purple Theater. There's some amazing artists that come from Michigan, Jeff Daniels, Steve Yen, Ashley Park. There's so many people, so it's possible, right? Like we're in this little bubble of Michigan, but you can do it. Reach out to as many people as possible. Go online, find someone's email, write a very well-lettered email. I thank you to my English teachers for teaching me how to write really smart, well-written emails because that helped me reach out to people. If you sound like you know how to speak, people want to talk to you. So don't be afraid to send a cold email to audition for local theater. Don't be afraid to maybe one day if you make it to New York or LA, like reach out to people out there. And also New York and LA are not the only places. There's tons of amazing opportunities across the country that are growing in theater and in TV films. So wherever you are or end up being, reach out to your local theaters, reach out to your local casting directors, find auditions, and just try.
I know we talked about Powder Puff. What was your jersey name?
My jersey name for 2025 Powder Puff was "You Can't Compare," and I felt so smart picking that name. But it was fun, and I don't remember if we won or lost, but I do remember we had a good time, and Mr. Wallace was our coach at the time, who apparently is still going and supporting the Powerpuff efforts. And we had a lot of fun. There was field day, there was, prom was so much fun, and it was so nice to have that experience together with Brother Rice. And I loved everything, going to the lacrosse games and going to the basketball games. A lot of my friends were on the basketball team, so we'd go and support and cheer on. And those same people were also a part of MRP. Like really, it's so wild to hear each of your stories and how you're all in different facets of athletics and academics and drama, because it was just like that 20 years ago. I said 20. It's true, 20 years ago. But this is the time to, try everything. Find what you like, find what you don't like, and just make it your own. And never forget this time, because it does go by really, really fast. Really fast.
I think that's where it's just, you can't top that. I think we need to give it up for Sasha. We snap clap, all of the above. You're the best. And for you guys joining us, thank you so much. And I think to exit out, a little fun thing to give the millions of viewers at home a little sneak peek. If you have your favorite line, just bring a little pressure on you guys. Is anyone ready?
Yeah.
You ready? All right.
I want to preface this with this line is something I would never say in real life. But my favorite line is saying, "It was the best trip. The slopes were perfect, and I met the hottest little snow bunny ever." Again, would never say that in real life.
Well said.
Mine is definitely one spoken by Chad, played by Ben Bingham. and it's yo, dog, Troy, my hoops boy.
This one is said by Zeke, and I don't know if you say, but you're like, I made a fabulous foie gras tartlet.
Yeah, I made it really outstanding.
Outstanding from, sorry,
I
yeah.
can't see it.
Mine's kind of like not funny, more just like meaningful, but there's not a star in heaven that you can't reach. Like, there's nothing that you can't do, like as Sasha said, like just go for everything. Like, it doesn't matter like what your background is. If you want to do it, you do it.
It's this specific scene, and like we're all in like a huddle, and like we're whispering, and I shout, "It's impossible!" And I just,
A couple, but I'll say only one. It's probably the scene in Stick to the Status Quo where it's a skater dude's part, and one of them asks, "What do you wear?" And then he says, "Jacket and tie." And he says, "That's uncalled for."
That's funny.
You ready? Yeah. Probably when Gabriella and Troy are talking and he says just like kindergarten, because they like get to know each other to the point where it's like back to like their roots and back to just being able to be like totally vulnerable with somebody. It's like just like kindergarten.
No pressure, Sasha. Do you remember any lines from your time at Marian, or one of your favorites in your career, or one of your favorites in your career?
Well, I will say that Little Shop of Horrors was actually one of my favorite plays. Doing that song, you know, Little Shop of Horrors. So it's one of the Ronettes. And it became relevant because I had to audition for a movie that they're maybe or not doing, Little Shop of Horrors. And I just, you know, recalled that time. Oh, I don't know if I remember any lines. No, probably just the songs. I loved the songs. Those were my favorite part. So yeah, it's gotta be Little Shop of Horrors.
Also, you should consider being a singer and an actor. So I was just, thinking about that when you started singing. I'm kidding. It was amazing. I was like, let's listen to you sing all day. Whoa. That was really fun. Sharpay and Ryan, do you guys go in the mirror and do the fans at home are wondering.
Yeah, all the time.
Let's give it up for Sasha. Let's give it up for these incredible MRP students and Mrs. Wiseman who joined us. If you are free this week, I mean, you're in for a treat, like we said, and we are all in this together. So let's go. I like it. Thank you guys so much.